Hello everybody and welcome to episode 8 of Passive Aggressive Film Reviews. My name is Richard Shittlebob.
And I'm Nathaniel Barrett Moore.
How's the week been, Nathaniel?
It's been an interesting week, Richard.
Oh yes, tell all.
Well, my weeks do tend to be interesting. Despite the fact that the last 2 weeks have been taken up with dealing with emails.
You're not going to bore us with that again, are you, Nathaniel?
No, I'm not going to have the hat-trick of boredom now.
Thank the Lord for that.
I've had a new experience this week, Richard.
Tell me all about it.
Well, as you know, I'm always into new experiences, trying different things. And it might come to something as a surprise that I've never actually done this before. Okay. But I took magic mushrooms. Magic mushrooms? Yeah.
These are the fungal equivalent of wacky backy?
Not quite.
No?
Are you familiar with LSD, Richard?
I've heard of it. I've never indulged.
Well, I'm not surprised about that, but I'm sure you're familiar with the concept of it, the hippie movement in the 60s and the hallucinations and the trips.
Yeah, this is people take it, then they never have a job and wind up either in prison or killing their family. Is that the drug you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the very one.
Right.
Everyone that's taken LSD has actually gone on to do that. It's proven fact.
Not everybody, Nathaniel, don't be ridiculous, but at least 90%.
No, I think you'll find it's everybody.
Okay.
So yes, magic mushrooms, and I had a pretty much a profound experience, Richard, I have to say.
Right.
I actually came into some sort of visual contact with Jesus Christ.
Yet again, Nathaniel, you're choosing your words simply to get under my skin.
No, that just happens as a natural course, it seems. But I did actually see the vision of Jesus, Richard.
What happened?
Well, the first thing he smiled, and with his beautiful, handsome face. Must admit, he's quite dishy, isn't he? I have to admit, he was quite a tasty fella.
I've never been privileged enough to see him in person, Nathaniel, because I don't spend my time getting whacked out on hallucinogenics.
Well, surely you must open up dialogue with him fairly regularly.
Yeah, but that's a dialogue of the heart, Nathaniel.
Well, you never know. Once you get more and more devout and into your Christian ways, you may have visions yourself.
It seems like I've been much more devout than I am, to be honest with you.
Yeah?
I don't think so.
But anyway, yeah. The beautiful eyes, the soothing, gentle voice, and once I got past my kind of moment of drooling, not to mention, of course, the smooth brown skin that he's got.
Sorry?
The smooth brown skin.
Brown skin?
Of course, yes. Jesus is black, you knew that, didn't you?
I'm lost for words, Nathaniel. I'm lost for words.
Yeah, well...
You're just spouting nonsense.
I'm not spouting nonsense at all. This is a vision I actually had, as clear as day.
Oh, yes. For a moment there, I did think this is a mushroom-inspired vision. It wasn't actually Jesus, was it?
It was a vision who looked like Jesus.
Apart from the fact he was black.
No, that's got nothing to do with it. Who are we to say that Jesus is white?
We're Christians.
Yes.
Christians are white.
Love all people.
Christians are white, Nathaniel. Jesus is white. God's white. You're not white. You're a traitor.
Yeah, so he got this smooth brown skin, which was quite another delicious feature, I have to say. But he actually started to give me some advice, Richard. He told me to go to church.
Yes, fine advice.
Which I must admit I've had a bit of a problem with, because the only reason I'd ever go to church is to try and cop off with one of those...
Carry on.
Okay. But he also told me to give up my bumming. Which again, I've been struggling with since this vision happened.
You're something of an addict, aren't you?
Well, I wouldn't call myself an addict. I'm just a pleasure seeker, Richard. And I must have thought, I have thought that the thought of sleeping with beautiful women for the rest of my life, I don't know, it's just not enough.
So, did you fantasize about anal intercourse with Jesus?
Well, no, I mean, I'm not as crass as that. I'm not as crude as that. He was a deliciously attractive vision. And if we'd got together and chatted and had a glass of wine, then maybe. But in its context, no, I just saw him as a beautiful man. I didn't want to copulate with him there and then.
Did Jesus, I want to get this clear, did Jesus specifically say, Nathaniel, stop your bumming?
He didn't say stop your bumming, he said give up bumming.
What's the difference?
It's not the same.
So tell me what the difference is. Sounds the same to me.
You said stop he said give up.
Oh, I see. The meaning's the same though, isn't it?
The meaning is the same, yeah.
Different words.
Yes.
You're being a pedant.
Well, it was an interesting turn of phrase, wasn't it?
I wouldn't have thought that Jesus would have known the word, to be frank with you.
Well, that's why it came as something of a shock. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to arrange to take them again next week. See if I can reopen dialogue. See if I can negotiate terms. Press him a little bit further.
Well, I mean, clearly, I can't approve of you indulging in narcotics of any type, but I must confess to a certain morbid curiosity as to how the dialogue proceeds. It's not every day you get to talk to Jesus, is it?
It certainly isn't, absolutely right. So let's hope that he wants to make an appearance again next week. I might increase the dose.
Had you been thinking religious thoughts beforehand? Because I have read that with LSD, certainly, sometimes a person's mood or whatever's on their mind can manifest in the hallucination.
Well, obviously that's a nonsensical suggestion to think that I would ever think in any kind of religious terms at all, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. You might be reading a book with a character that's religious. You might have accidentally seen 5 minutes of songs of praise. I don't know. I don't think it was a totally preposterous proposition. I've never been to ancient Rome, but sometimes I think about ancient Rome.
No, that's ludicrous. To think I had Christian books on my bookshelf and, songs of praise on the television. No, it's nonsense. But in answer to your question, there is some kind of, how do I describe it, sacred kind of preparation.
Right.
To say that you have to treat these mushrooms with respect. You're about to investigate into the unknown somewhat, so you have to prepare yourself. I did a little bit of meditating, open my mind even further, and asked to be protected.
It's a little bit like when you open up a fresh bottle of Glenmorangie, isn't it? You've got to prepare yourself. You've got to line your stomach. You don't want to quaff half a bottle of whiskey on an empty stomach.
Quite.
There's preparation involved.
I guess there is a similarity there, yes.
Yeah. A procedure.
A procedure, yeah. It's about treating the moment with respect, Richard.
Absolutely. And respecting the intoxicant, whatever it might be.
Indeed. So let's hope I can reopen dialogue next week and have some more interesting news for you on that score.
Well, genuinely, Nathaniel, I'm pleased for you, and I hope you find the Lord once more.
Thank you very much.
Anything else?
No, that's I think that's enough for this week.
Oh, it's a good one. I'll give you that.
Mushrooms and seeing God, Richard. I think
it's a good one. It'd be hard to top, wouldn't it? You put me in a difficult position, Nathaniel. Now then, I've got some sad news to report to begin with.
Okay.
Helen's left me.
No.
She has. She's had enough. Even though not we, you were quite the opposite. Even though I tried not to talk about it on the podcast, it wasn't enough for her. So the gagging order is still in effect. But how can I say this? Given her behaviour I'm quite likely to refuse to come off the bench when requested, if you see what I'm saying.
I don't see what you're saying now. What do you mean by that?
If I'm asked to cooperate, you know, the allusion there was to Carlos Tevez, Nathaniel. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I've heard of him vaguely, yes.
Yes. If I'm asked to cooperate or do something that I'm meant to do, I might do the exact opposite. We'll see.
Interesting and mysterious. I'm still not sure what you're getting at.
Let's let time resolve that one, shall we?
You think she might ask for your back?
Think she might what, sorry?
Ask for your back? What's
Ask
back?
for my back.
Ask for you back.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
You blooming idiot.
I do apologise. If you could actually speak correctly.
You could hear correctly.
No, I don't think so. No, it seemed very final. She called me an arsehole.
Well, that's not unusual.
I didn't like it.
I suppose you would, but you never know. She could do a lot worse, eh, Richard?
Well, that's what I think she could do a lot worse. I will confess, Nathaniel, I thought I was punching above my weight.
Yeah.
You know, I was in a league, maybe one, perhaps even 2 leagues above where, you know, my true standard. I was very pleased, but I suppose it'd have to come to an end.
So why do you think she actually left you?
As I say, it was even the hint of discussion on this show. She was so angry about it. She called me an arsehole, said she never wanted to see me again, and she hoped that I and everybody that I love and hold dear died horrible deaths. That's what I mean. It was pretty final.
That does sound quite conclusive. Yeah.
There's no going back from that one.
Not really. But at least you've got the memories, Richard.
Oh. I certainly have, Nathaniel.
You'll have to tell me off air.
What memories?
All your filthy habits.
I was out of control at times, Nathaniel, plunging into Anyway, a listener last week, I only thought about this after the show. A listener last week, you read out a letter, and they confused the fact that Yvonne had visited France with the fact that she was actually French. Now, I'm just going to put the record straight here. I wouldn't cohabit with a French woman. I'm not sick.
Well, quite. That would be quite the change of direction for you, wouldn't it, really?
It would be wrong. I'm having no part of it.
What about if she did what Helen used to do to you?
Oh.
Wouldn't be tempted?
I might consider it then.
There we go.
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, talking of Yvonne, Nathaniel.
Oh, yes.
Yvonne's actually attempting to blackmail me.
What a strumpet.
Oh, her true colours have really got 30 years, Nathaniel. You think you know someone? Not a bit of it. She claims that she's obtained some rather suggestive photographs of me and a Welsh boys' choir.
Is she bluffing?
I've got no idea.
Oh, so you're not certain?
I am certain that I've never done anything untoward in the presence of a Welsh boys' choir. But in these days of Photoshop, Nathaniel, you never can tell.
She wouldn't be that devious, though, would she? I've met Yvonne. She wouldn't do anything like that.
She wants half of everything I possess. The woman's insane.
Are you going to succumb to these demands?
Or no, I'm not. No,
I've
got one of my people working on it. I can't say anything else. Obviously, I don't want to tip her off.
Well,